And we're off. And we're off.
Hey,
There we are. Cheers.
here's to a new year.
Here's
Now by
to
now
a new
it's
year. Oh, good Lord. I'm gonna look at, I got all these. I have a delectable box of minis.
oh nice.
So I'm going with the Tennessee Fire. I don't know what
Tennessee
it means.
Fire, very nice. I'm gonna move this way so you could see Dolly is still festive.
She's very festive indeed. Yep. She's right
Still
in there. I'm going to show you a little trick because it's winter here now. It's freezing. It's cold. I constantly have chapped lips. And if I drink cinnamon whiskey, it's going to burn. So I'm going to put a thin layer of chapstick.
you are prepared
I
for the
am. So cheers,
rock.
my friend.
Nice. Enjoy. Okay. I have something special for Christmas. I got these bullet
So
in
cool.
glass whiskey glasses. For those of you listening, not watching, it's
Is
like
it
a copper bullet that went.
copper bullet that's like going through the glass? So part of it is outside the glass, part of it is inside the glass.
Yep. It's
That is
inside. It's cool.
awesome. Was it
Uh,
for a brand? Was it for a brand of whiskey, or were those glasses just on their own?
they were just on their own,
Okay.
and then my nieces and my nephews did the whole podcast theme for this year. So then
Yeah, I did. So did
with
I.
people that see the Facebook
Yeah,
page, I put on Whiskey Rock Lounge
I
Facebook
love it. Time
class
for whiskey business.
with business, and this is a Game of Thrones themed Johnny Walker White whiskey,
Now
which is what
this,
today.
that whole beautiful bottle changes now when you
Yeah,
put it in the freezer, right?
right. So my nephew didn't even know this. It says freeze for an icy reveal. So we put it in the freezer, and this guy gets. I have to just wipe some of the condensation off. His I'll put it up. You see
Oh,
how
that's
he
so cool. Yep.
Game of Thrones armor,
It
and
changes to armor.
then his eye has this, like, he's got this creepy eye,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
actually really cool.
and all of this blue crackle was not there before, and then on the side it says winter is here.
Oh, very Game of Thrones
Yeah,
winter coming.
winter.
Yeah.
It's camera. So
That
yeah,
is
so it
amazing. I've actually seen that. I've seen the it must be on my Instagram feed that I get all the liquor, ads. So I have seen that. And then I actually did click on it and check it all out. And I was like, that's really cool. Because it's called it is Johnny Walker, but it's called Winter Walker.
right.
Yeah.
It's called, yes, it is. You're right. Game of Thrones, a White Walker
White
is what
Walker. That's it. Yeah.
blended Scotch whiskey, limited
That's
edition.
very cool. Yeah. That's
So
amazing.
that's
I
what
did
I'm
too. I
having.
did well with the whiskeys. I've got I'll show you what I have.
Okay. I want to see.
Okay, so I have a the Balvenie. This is double
Oh,
wood,
yeah.
matured, 12. It's a whiskey. These are the thing I like about this is it's called double wood because it's aged first in a whiskey oak cask and then in a sherry oak cask, and it's a 12-year one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it is the Balvenie double wood, and that was from Gemma, and that was from last week when I got worried that I had no new whiskey, and she ran out in the pouring rain and
Oh,
went and bought me this so that I would have a new whiskey, and then we decided we would wait a week. And then I also got a Glenlivet.
beautiful.
This is
That's a
pretty coveted. Yeah, this is pretty coveted. Single malt Scotch whiskey. It is the Founder's Reserve. It's an American oak selection. So I'm very excited to get into this because I do remember when I worked at the pub, every now and then we'd get a refined gentleman that would come in and pick a Glenlivet from our whiskey cabinet, and I'd be so impressed.
that's a very posh high end.
I think it is. And yet here I am with the JD Fireball.
JD is always the go-to.
I do like this. It's like it's the equivalent to Big Red chewing gum in a glass.
Right. Yes, with a little extra something.
Yeah, but I thought
So,
it was going to be like hard to handle. Like it was going to be that fire, that cinnamon, and then whiskey burn on top of it. But it absolutely is not. It really has a little tiny bit of sweetness to it that helps you. It kind of helps settle everything down. So I'm quite impressed with that one. I like that.
that's what I call dangerously smooth
Yeah,
because
yeah. I like I.
it goes down
Thank
way
God there's no there. That's it. We're good. Airplane size, so I can't get in any trouble tonight.
goes
Listen,
down
there's
way.
no point in getting lit tonight when tomorrow's actually New Year's Eve.
Listen, the best part of that story for me was that Gemma ran out in the rain while you fell asleep worrying that you didn't have a new whiskey for the
Well,
new show.
I was kind of whining about it a little bit, like, because I really wanted the screwball peanut butter whiskey, but it's just way too expensive here. I
Yeah,
found it, but I'm not going to be able to even go after that until it's like another pay period because, Christmas ate into everything, on top of, I just didn't have the extra. So I was like whining about that a little bit. And then I said, excuse me, I said, I'm so sick of like, I always have the same whiskeys. I have the honey, I have the apple, you know, and I'm going to end up doing that again because I ordered the minis for myself and they got delivered somewhere else.
oh,
So
oh,
I saw the delivery guy, like, they buzzed to be let in and then I'm standing at the door waiting and he never came. And I'm like, what's going on? So after a couple minutes, I poked my head out and I saw the truck driving away. So I don't even know where he delivered them to. So I was really upset about it. And she
oh.
went out
And
in the pouring rain.
well, that is so romantic. That's like
She's a good
fact of the
girl. Come on, she's a good
fact of
girl.
pouring rain. The pouring rain makes it so much more poetic.
Pouring rain, cold, gray, ugly day where you would never leave the house, you know?
Love. It's a great story. It's a
And
wonderful story.
she went out and I kept saying, what do you need to go out for? Like, what do you need to go out for? This is ridiculous.
Uh,
And she's like, I just need to get one more thing. I just need to get one more thing. And I'm like, that's weird because there's really no shops, like stores, like that you would go Christmas shopping in
right.
that are within walking distance. It's usually just little grocery stores and mini marts and stuff. And so I just couldn't figure out what she was doing. And she walked all the way to
And she walked in the rain. She walked in the rain on
the
top
rain.
of it.
Walked in
Wow.
the rain. Yeah. That is love. That is love.
That's love at its finest. It's those things that seem like the little things, but that's the biggest thing. Those are the big.
Yeah, it was a big thing. It was very cute. And then when I said, "Oh, we decided we're going to do the show next week," she was like, "What?" No, no, don't worry about it. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk. And then I got all these whiskeys at Christmas too. So now I've got like a couple to see us through, a little bit. So here's to my wife.
Yes, to Gemma. She could have left on a sunny day if she knew we weren't doing the podcast last week, but
Exactly.
see, that's love.
Yeah, exactly. She's a good one. She's a good one. We were just saying how everything being so different this year. It didn't feel like very different for us because we have the same tradition. We
Yeah,
our thing is like we get up early, we text Hazel to wake her up, and then because she only lives one street over, so then she has to come over in her pajamas and she brings like these big shopping bags full of gifts, and then we bake croissants in the oven, and we have croissants and tea, and we pile up all the gifts in front of one another, and then we just open gifts. You open one now, you open one now, you open one now, you open one, and we do that, and then after that's all over with, she goes home and starts cooking, and then we put everything away, and then we start cooking our things, and then we meet up over her house with everything, and we have like a Christmas dinner together. So that's pretty much all we do anyway. So it really wasn't hugely different.
you were already a bubble. You
We
guys
were already a bubble, and
bubble.
we've been a bubble since last year. So, you know,
Well, we were my immediate family, but we're quite a few in my immediate family. But it was my nephews and my sisters and my mom, and so it was kind of not so different either. We do wrapping, opening up the presents on Christmas morning, all the kids at the same time, and there
Yeah.
are more
Yeah.
here, and I usually end up shopping till the very last possible minute you can shop on Christmas Eve. So that stuff was the same, but it's not as fun shopping with a mask. The
Right.
mask,
Yeah. Takes
okay,
all the fun
all
out of it, doesn't it?
shopping. But you know what I noticed? Like I wanted to mention this because it's something that's different now. Like the new thing is all the families, like they wear matching PJs. Like they find,
Yes, I said that to my mom this year.
yeah, and you have to get them early, like for a big family.
Yeah.
I was talking to my nephew's wife, but the thing is that I was looking back at old pictures because some of my friends posted pictures when they were little. So like that was like maybe in the 60s, you know, and people got dressed up a lot. Like they got dressed to the nines for a holiday just to go to their relative's house. You know, they weren't going out to a club or anything. And I remember being a kid and all the men wore suits and ties coming over and the women had dresses and their Christmas pins and
Yeah, I think
like don't do that
you're right.
anymore.
You're right. Like I do remember when I was younger and I lived in upstate in Niagara Falls, New York. Um, my mom had Christmas Day a lot, and I wouldn't say everybody stepped up their game a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they wore something new. You know what
right.
I mean? Like the men wore a new velour shirt.
Velour, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we
velour shirt, nice Sergio Valentes. That's the era I grew up in, Jay.
yeah, I don't sound too old. You're a little younger than I am, but when I was little,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, like parents, I texted this to my friend. Our parents looked like movie stars back then. They dressed like, you know, the hats, the women wore gloves and hats. And, you know, I don't want to go back to the 1800s, but I that was nice. People get
Yeah,
really up on a holiday, you know,
yeah.
but so I didn't do that. You know, none of us do that now, but I did. Now we kind of get dressed up goofy. So I borrowed Dolly's hat and her necklace, and I
Oh,
went
there
with
you go. Yeah.
my friend.
We all wore like I would like during opening present time in the morning, I had on my elf shirt that says "Son of a Nutcracker" with Will Ferrell, big head
Yeah.
of Will Ferrell, and then for dinner, I wore my George Michael Christmas shirt, which is just all his face done in a Christmas tree.
Wow.
Because I miss him so much, and I still every Christmas I get just a pinch of sad, like knowing that he died on Christmas Day, because he was one of my all time favorites. Like that one, if you ask me, the biggest loss over the last 5-10 years or whatever, that was the one for me. Like that just killed me. Yeah,
I died on Christmas Day. Was not aware of that.
yeah, yeah. It was
Oh,
Christmas Day, and then last year his sister died on Christmas Eve, I think.
oh, geez.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
ridiculous. But yeah, it's a lot. It's just I get maybe because being over here too,
Yeah.
made it so much more intense, because his house is still like there and goring, and it's
Oh,
a little
right.
bit weird.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but that other than that, like I would say that it felt like a almost like a normal Christmas, which again it's hard. Like it sucks being this far away because
Hmm.
we were supposed to be in Florida the second week of December for a little bit, to do an early Christmas with my mother and then be back here. And that obviously didn't work out. So it's just that part of it's been a little bit difficult. But we did do like a video call with my mother from Hazel's and show her all the Christmas decorations and the food and all that kind of stuff. And that was all right. But yeah, that part of it is a little bit hard. And I did have a big catch up with, like this is the time because everybody's off,
Right.
so I did
Right.
had like a marathon 4-hour catch up with Donna, and
Oh, oh, wow.
yeah, we just put the phone on the charger on a stand and spend like half a day on the phone together.
So cool.
Mhm.
I have that with my friends.
Yeah.
So, so, um, you tried the eggnog? You tried Tyler's recipe, did you say?
I did not. I have all the stuff to do it, and I realized that I had the wrong kind of milk.
Oh,
I
that's
have
what it
like
was.
skim milk, like Gemma drinks skim milk or not even, she drinks like soy milk, but
Mm,
the milk in the fridge was it wasn't whole milk, and I thought that's gonna ruin everything. Like
yeah.
that's gonna totally ruin everything. But I had the heavy cream. I had the I wasn't gonna use rye. I don't have rye. I was gonna use rum, but nah, I chickened out. Chickened out.
Oh,
And you know
you
what
had,
I don't have? A shaker.
yeah.
I don't have like a regular like martini shaker.
That
That's
needed Christmas list.
I should
Oh,
have I should have taken one of them from the pub.
uh, I
Yeah.
tried recipe for New Year's Eve. We're recording this a little bit before New Year's
Yeah,
Eve, but it's going to be airing on in the new year. And then I'm looking forward to his next drink for us for 2021. He's coming up with something
he's
for
gonna
us.
be on our yeah, first week of January. He'll be back and he'll be teaching us something. I feel like I learn stuff when he comes on. Like
Yeah.
I really do. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love all our guests coming on and catching up and hearing what they've got going on and all that kind of stuff. Not to take anything away from anybody else, but I do feel I walk away a bit more educated after Tyler's been on.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, that's
He
amazing. He's so knowledgeable in what he's doing.
right. He explains this actual science behind the drink, which we just pretty much drink it. And I
This is
told you
tasty.
after that show, I texted Judy, I feel like eggnog. I'm going to go buy some. And then Tyler texted her, she cannot buy it. She has to make it.
That's
So
right. You've
and
learned.
I think I would have learned, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Especially
so
because you can just make a single serving,
yeah,
like which
that
is
was
a blessing over here because I don't have the space in my fridge to put a carton of eggnog in because our fridges are so small that you got to prioritize. But
so what's different for you now? Because are you still in the tier four tiers? Tier four?
we're still in the worst tier. We're still in tier 4. Um, as a matter of fact, I think it was announced today. We tried not to watch any news, just
Yeah, break.
purely to keep your spirits up. Um, so what I did read though that they did put a couple million more people in the tier 4, so they've broadened the area. So now, like remember Lucy Burton and Mandy are in Birmingham, which is
Mhm.
a little bit north and a little bit west of us, kind of like as if you were going to Wales um,
Okay.
over there in Birmingham. And I think they just got put in tier 4 as well. So there were a lot of tier 3 places, which, in my opinion, they should have just put everybody in tier 4 to try and
Yeah.
get a handle on this because we've been now in a tier 4 for the last like 2 weeks, maybe even longer. We don't even know anymore, and our cases are exploding still.
And what does that mean, tier four? You can't just go to the store. You need a reason to go to the grocery store. Like you have a lot of days to go. And
No, I mean it's not that restrictive. It's just that just essential stores are open.
okay.
Um, Restaurants can only do takeaway. Most pubs are closed. If they don't do food, they're closed. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's if you don't have to go into an office or business to go to work, like please work from home. Try to minimize your public transport. Any place where there's crowds, like just stay away. Like you can't even gather anymore. Like even if you're meeting up with somebody outside at a park, one person, that's it.
Wow.
One on one. Yeah. So they want no gathering if at all possible.
So that's so different for us here. First of all, the new strain that you told me about that was in England is now in Colorado.
I
So
heard
it's
that. Yes.
God knows where else. God. But here it's like weird because we don't in this state, it's just regular business. And it's I know I say this all the time, but I mean it's a little scary that it is. We just have to be on our own responsibility to take our own precautions.
I just read a post from somebody that said somebody in Florida. I don't want to mention who, but somebody in Florida that said it's making them sick to their stomach to know that people are traveling to
Yeah.
Florida, not so much because of the weather, but because there's no restrictions there.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's a double bad reason because
it's a
they're
double
coming here
whammy.
for
It's
the
a double
weather, and
whammy.
they're happy because they're not restricted and
Right,
don't need to be.
right.
And wow.
Sickening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
It,
terrible. I feel like things are going to get a lot worse before they start even inching towards better.
yeah.
That's the gist of it. But I don't. I said like I do have a tendency to be thumbing through Twitter all the time, like when we're watching television, while I'm waiting for pasta to boil, like so. I did. There's so many year-end reviews, and they're all about what a shit show that 2020 has been, and I get that, like it is, but like, wouldn't you rather focus on like some of the good things that came of it? I mean, we for the first time ever have a female vice president, you know, like something like that's huge, and you just can't let that go by. That's massive and huge, and like it's mind blowing, and that's like a big win. And then you have to look at all the little wins. Like look at all the things that people accomplished while they were in lockdown.
Right.
Purging
Exactly.
closets, cleaning out closets, doing home
Right.
projects. Like things you would never do.
Exactly. I wrote a song, by the way. I'm going to do the shameless plug. Here, my
Here.
seg. No, I actually wrote a song about what was going on in quarantine. I called it Nothing But Faith. I finally finished it in the studio. And I'm going to put it at the end of this video, at the end of this podcast,
Yeah.
just, just the chorus. So we can thank all of our guests from 2020. And then I'm working on a video for it. But uh, a lot, I think also people got closer, even though we were physically distant. I think people were closer as far as communicating with each other with
Yeah, I
things like
think too,
Zoom
because
and
there was a lot of you had to check in with everybody all the time.
right,
Yeah,
right,
'cause you
right,
wouldn't. Yeah.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
that's a
so,
definite plus. Like that was a definite plus. And you got to hope that stays that way. Like no matter what the outcome here is, if it's an Armageddon thing or if things get better, you got to hope that those connections that we did make, like I feel like people were on Facebook a lot more, whether they were bitching about politics or whether they were criticizing their local and state government and whatnot. In between all that, they were literally it seemed to be like more communications, with people. And I mean, just recently, a girl I went to school with put a picture up from when we were in kindergarten and we were in a play. And I was
oh,
like, wow, I remember my line. It was, it was not I, said the little red hen. And so I said to the girl, like, I remember this, I remember my line, but I don't remember what my part was. I said my line was, not I, said the little red hen. She goes, you were the narrator. It's like, I was the narrator. It was like, oh my God. So
you were
that's
born
been,
for this.
yeah, right? Since kindergarten, man. So it's been so fun. Like that kind of stuff has been, so fun. Like, and seeing people, especially like the people that had babies in the midst of all this, or
Oh
that
yeah.
like my cousin, um, unfortunately, in the last, I want to say year and a half, had lost both of her dogs. Um,
Oh,
had to put both dogs down. So they just got a new little guy, a little corgi named Finnegan, and he is amazingly cute with the one floppy ear and one sticking up ear, like so cute. So things like that, and seeing all my cousins that I don't normally get to see because they're still in New York or whatever, seeing all them, Christmas open their kids opening Christmas presents and their little Facebook videos has been super fun. Normally I
yeah.
just whiz by. But now it's time for family. So,
I
but yeah,
think
you're
in a
right.
way,
I think people did get
brought
close.
people closer, I think,
Yeah,
in a way. But you know,
big time, big time. I'm so proud of all the things that we, not proud of, like as if but I'm really happy about the things that we accomplished in the first lockdown, which was Persian closets, organizing every kitchen cabinet, reorganizing like all the different rooms, like how we were going to be doing things and how we could create more space and getting rid of so much crap. And now, and that was mainly downstairs and a little bit upstairs, but now we're getting new beds, new bed frames. So we're going to be doing a little bit of that. And we have a tiny little space on the landing that we want to do something with and make it a, I don't know, functional spot, I guess is the best way to put it. Right now, it's just where the cats sleep. But so, yeah, so there's a lot of new things coming up in the second lockdown, but that's stuff that we wouldn't normally get to
Right.
because we're not
Exactly.
normally home together this much. Like Gemma's working all day long and I might be here, or you know what I mean? So it's so rare that we have this much time together that we could plan a project and say, well, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about if we get new this, if we get new that and put that there and, you know, as opposed to me just doing it while she's at work. Yeah.
Well, I caught up on, I rewatched a couple of short series like L Word, the new generation.
Yeah, we watched that when it came out. Yeah.
Uh, there were only, I think, 6 of them or 8 of them or something. So I kind of got reacquainted with that. I like, cause I'm hoping the new ones are coming back. So,
I think they
you know,
are. I did read
I
something
mean,
about them filming, but then I also read that the governor is asking the film industry to not film because they're having like the guy I watched SWAT and the star of that just announced that he had COVID, so they had to shut down. So
uh,
yeah, and I think California is in a really bad way. So
right, right.
I did read that the L Word was in the process of filming. So
Yes, I read that, and it was interesting to see to see it again because I missed things the first time. This time I was actually sitting down watching it. Usually I'm doing things while it's in the background.
yeah,
So um
I thought it was pretty good. Like I was okay with it. It wasn't. I don't think I had high expectations for it. So
uh,
it came in at the wire. So I
right.
yeah.
I didn't, I wasn't 100% familiar with the first, believe it or not, the first one because I didn't have Showtime when it was in its heyday when it was on. So I caught up on all of those before, and then I watched it again. And then Sex and the City, which I also started watching 20 years later, is coming back with what they call a reboot, and they're going to have it without uh, what's her name, Kim Cattrall, because she did not want to do the movie.
Yeah.
She's very friends with Sarah Jessica Parker,
Yeah.
but do what they call a reboot, which is going to be like a short series, and it's going to be the 3 original people. So I don't know what they're going to do with Samantha, with the character. I don't know if they're going to kill her off or
I don't
make
know.
her away, but so some of those TV shows are cool shows are coming back, but um I don't know if movies are open anywhere. So I don't know if they
I
are.
don't know either. Not that I would go. I don't think I would go, but
No,
I think part of what we're doing for New Year's Eve is like just ordering in a couple of pizzas and maybe some takeaway things. Ordering in, and Hazel's coming here, and we're just gonna watch Wonder Woman 84.
oh, a lot of people are doing that.
Yeah,
My niece, I'm going to go to my niece's house. We're going to be there, my family. She just got this whole thing of the New York skyline. I don't know if it's not wallpaper, but it's something that's stuck on the wall, and it's like her whole wall and around the curve. And it's just kind of cool. It'll be cool for taking pictures in front of
oh yeah,
that. She's
definitely.
really she's doing her best to like bring that Manhattan into her place for
That's fun.
2021, and we're usually by her because she's got the kids, unless I'm playing somewhere, which I'm not this year. So,
Yeah, Hazel got like a really cool thing from her sister that was like all done in metal, and it was the
mhm.
London skyline,
Oh, wow.
Shard and the London Eye and all that kind of stuff, and it was all black
Yeah.
metal. Yeah, which was really really cool. So yeah, I think I love little things like that. Like your place looks like a New York apartment, right?
That went for, yes, that's
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
find Or
Looks like yeah, it definitely looks like a little New York apartment.
palm-
It's amazing.
when you see the palm trees outside, it kind of throws it all
Throws you
off.
off a little bit. Exactly. I love that you still have your decorations up. We have already
I noticed that.
got to
I'll
make
keep
use of these weekends, man.
I keep mine up ad nauseum, like it's way beyond. But like Judy and Terry, we didn't get a chance to do Christmas together. So when they get back from their traveling, we'll do Christmas. I'm having my family over Christmas, New Year's Day. So they haven't even been. I really haven't had anyone here because of everything going on with COVID, and
Yeah,
people don't want to go out. They don't feel comfortable
it's
even going
true. Yeah.
other home. So, but I'm going to do a little something. So I'll keep it up probably for another couple of weeks and then I'll take it down.
It's so
But
good.
I
Yeah, we got everything back to normal. Like it really settled the cats down a lot. Not that Bruce gives a crap, but because Molly's still young, everything was new to her. So, it took her a while to stop being obsessed with the twinkle lights and trying to climb on the mantle and all that kind of stuff. Now like I did get a new I had a PS4, a PlayStation 4, and I loved it. And Molly decided that she wanted to sleep on top of it. And she kind of like made the top like dent a little bit, so then I couldn't get discs in and out. So she kind of busted it.
oh.
Um, but Gemma and Hazel went in together and they got me a new PS4. So we transferred everything and it all works great. But the cat likes to sit right in front of the TV. So I'm trying to rob a liquor store in Grand Theft Auto, and she's like right in the way. I can't see the police coming and where I need to be, and it's going
So
to be a little challenging.
you don't mind if lockdown takes a little longer. You can be longer in
No,
lockdown.
I can get reacquainted with all my games because it's
Got
been
stuff.
like a year since I played anything. So I'm so excited to, and I'm so glad that all my data, I was able to transfer all my data off the old one to the new one, so I didn't lose my place anywhere. I can keep, pick up right where I left off. So I was like, oh, and I got new games for Christmas too. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I know. I feel
Yeah.
like a big kid. Yeah, big boy kid, I should say. I remember my neighbor used to be not the neighbors that are living there now, but before them was a super young couple, and the guy always used to say, "Man, I want your life." I want because Gemma was like away a lot then for work, so I would just be playing Grand Theft Auto 24/7. It would be like, "Man, I want your life."
That's funny. Well, I've been in the studio and then rushing, to do the podcast,
Yeah,
but
I feel like you literally worked over the holiday period.
I did. I was in the studio the day after Christmas because I wanted to get this song finished. And there was, you do a take, you do a pass, and you do a mix and you listen to it and then you hear things. It's very hard. Like you have to get to that spot where you just let it go because you could.
Well, you are like a
But
supreme perfectionist.
yeah, I tend to be a pain in the ass. Thank you for saying perfectionist. It's a fine line, but yes. So I always hear, but I think everyone's like that. I always hear something else that, oh, maybe we could do this, or we should have done that, or I should have sang this differently. And there's a time you have to get a place you have to get where you're like, I'm good. I have to let it go because otherwise you're going to be working on it forever,
It's
fixing things.
true. It's like so let me ask you this then, like with the recorded version, it's what you want, and it's like you said, you have to let go of tweaking more and
Mhm.
more and more, so you get to a point where you're happy with it. But now, like when you perform it live, you could do those things, right? Like if you wanted to make
Exactly.
little changes, right? So that's
Exactly.
good. That's like the
Yeah.
best of both worlds, really.
That's exactly it. Because I said, you know what I didn't do here, when we play it live, there'll be a live version. So we'll
Mhm.
do that
Yeah,
that way.
yeah,
But
that's very cool. And you
yeah,
said you're going to be working on a video.
yes, I
How did that
wanted,
work in these COVID times?
well, I'm going to do,
Like this.
I'm right, a video with a mask. No, I'm going to, do it on the beach. I'll have some footage. I think it'll be me with my guitar, my like a Johnny Cash kind of vibe with my long black jacket and my black
You know
guitar.
it well, yep.
And I'm talking to the guy that's going to do the filming, and then I will actually do the video myself. So it'll just
You
be
are a
me
good
working.
editor, man. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
God dang,
Thank
with things that
you.
you've done with some of these Zoom sessions. Whoo!
I'm finally learning, I learned Zoom the other day how to initiate a meeting. But yeah, I've been learning, the movie, how to put the movie together. So a video. So I will do the rest of it, but I need someone to take the footage of me on the beach and just some, going down the street, just some of that. And I'll put it together and make something. And it'll be you know, a, a D list, a B movie. What do they call that? The B movie video.
I'm gonna
But
call it a homegrown, a homegrown video. You
right.
know,
But
an
what was
organic homegrown video.
I like that.
Yeah.
But what was different in the studio was we wore our masks. It was only three of us in the room. We wore our masks unless I was singing. I took mine off, but they kept theirs on the whole time. And when I was done singing, I put mine back on again. So it's such a different dynamic doing that,
I
but
feel like it's something we're just all gonna have to get used to.
yeah, that's
You
not
know?
going away anytime soon.
No,
I don't.
no, and you're gonna have people that obviously are never going to. You know,
Right,
they're never.
right,
But I think we just at some point it's just we're all responsible for ourselves. So you got to do what makes you feel safe.
right.
And if I 100% feel safe with my mask on, that's all I know. Yeah,
That's exactly true.
yeah.
So I forget why I started saying that. I think I was making a point
It's a
of,
different vibe for you in the studio then.
yeah, what's that?
Was it a different vibe than the whole
It,
thing in the studio?
yeah, it was a different vibe, but it was still good. It was so good to be making music again. It really just, for me, it just made me come back to life again to do
See,
that.
that's another high that came out of this was that you
Yes.
wrote a song.
Yeah. And listening to it, you listen to the final mix and you're like, good, I'm letting it go. That's it. I you just feel it just felt good, like you created something, like to me, my songs are my children. Oh, that's
Of
where I
course,
started.
yeah.
I was in such a rush. I'm like, I have to do the podcast and I'm hitting the studio. And my sister is like, I hate your life. Your friend was saying that he wishes that he loved your life. He wants
Yeah.
your life. My sister hates that. She hates the fact that I'm rushing around from one thing to the next. But I need to be doing that. Like I'm happier creating. So I
That's
said,
your normal though. Don't you think that's your normal? Like if anything,
yeah,
that's the constant that hasn't changed is that you are still able to do your running around.
right,
That's what
right,
stopped over here.
right,
That's
right.
that's the huge difference. Is like Gemma said, I can't go to the gym. I can't go get a haircut. I can't, like those are the things that she's itching. Like
Yeah.
yesterday, she got up in the morning and went for a walk. I'm like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
She's like, I just have to go blow the house stink off. Like I'm so sick of being in the house. I just want to be
Yeah.
outside. And
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's cool. I got it. Because when she's out, then I can actually do some serious cleaning. I can vacuum, I can make noise, I can empty the dishwasher, I can do all those things. Whereas if she's sitting here just reading or watching something, I don't want to be making all that noise. So it's a nice balance. Like it worked out. But that's what's driving her crazy is not being able to jump in the car and go to the garden center or go to the hardware store or like my baby cat ruins every bath mat, no matter what, no matter what kind it is, no matter what the texture is. Like I've gone super soft, super fluffy, big knotted ones. I mean, I've tried everything to see what would work, and she just destroys every bath mat. So we're at that stage where we need the bath mat. So we decided we needed new towels too. So you can't just get in the store and go, you can't get in the car and go to the store to pick those things out. So it's like you got to look online together and see
Right.
what the place
Right.
delivers and what their, the shipping and all. So that was how, what we, I think what's hardest is just not being able to do those little things that you find so normal. You know,
Yes.
to run up the street to the bakery to get a loaf of bread. You're, like, oh,
Right.
I can have it delivered, to the door, which is great. But I mean, when I think about the amount of money we're paying for delivery services over this last year, I don't even want to know the tally, you know.
I miss sipping my chestnut praline Starbucks latte while I'm Christmas shopping in the mall. Like I miss that. And I couldn't, like, what's the point? You have the mask
You
and
can't
you get it and I would get it on the way out and drink it in the car. But there was something
sticking a
about
straw underneath your mask.
God, we need to invent that. Like a straw.
I was asking my cousin. My cousin works in Las Vegas at the old Golden Nugget, not the new one that's on the
Oh,
strip, but the original Golden Nugget, and he's
yeah.
been there for like 30 fucking years. Um, but when this first came down, I said to him, like, when they opened, I said, are people wearing masks? Because in Vegas, they're just sitting at the slot machine smoking.
Right, right.
He was like, oh, they're so grumpy. They're so grumpy because they get in trouble for not wearing their masks or whatever. They have to, like, the designated, go out for a walk or whatever to smoke. And I'm just like, oh, that's got to be brutal. That's got to be brutal because that's like people's lives there, just sitting there at the slot machine, banging cigarettes one after another, smashing
Right.
that button on the slots. So, like, well, my mother's overcome it. I mean, I choose to believe that she's overcome it. Before this, she would spend, 3 days a week at the casino from noon until after dinner. She,
Wow.
yeah, she would go at noon, and then my stepdad would go home, take a shower, come home from work, take a shower, whatever, clean up, go meet her for dinner there, and then she'd come back with him. So she would be there for, I would say, like an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
oh, you pulled a double, you know?
She
But
lost her job. Kind of like losing,
yeah,
kind of like her job.
yeah, that's what I would say. Like, oh, you pulled a double. Like if she was winning and she stayed later, then I'd say, oh, you pulled a double. But yeah, and when I go, I'm guilty of it. I'm right there with her. Like I
Oh.
make I make people that want to hang out with me meet
Mhm.
me at the casino. It's like it's great fun for everyone.
I never won anything like substantial, so I get absolutely no excitement from the slots or any kind of gambling. It just has never been my thing, which is probably good because I have a bit of an addictive personality. So I would probably
That's
have.
my problem. I hit once for 3,500 on a slot. So then you're always chasing
Yeah,
that again, that win again.
you're
Yeah,
chasing that.
brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah,
You go right to that same machine or that kind of machine again and
right, right.
hoping for it again. But yeah, it's weird because it was like at 3 a.m., you know,
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, it was super quiet. I was there with Julie. It was super, super quiet. And I was in the high roller area and it was $5 a spin. And I
Oh,
was like, oh, this is expensive, but it was my last $100. So I
oh
threw it in, and on the third one, I hit. I didn't even know what happened. I was just like, oh, this
wow.
machine broke. Like I'm looking, this machine's broken. The lady came over and said, no, you just hit one of the progressives. I was like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, then I was a nervous wreck leaving with that much cash on me. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's a high and a low really quick. High and an extreme paranoia. But
And you have to pay your taxes before you leave the building, right? They take the tax.
they give you a sheet to fill out so that when you do go to pay your taxes, you can do the
Oh,
math. Yeah, but they do take your information and your total and all that. But yeah, I was dumbfounded, like it just because I'm the same way. Like I play forever and up and down,
yeah.
I've had good and bad, but that was the best ever because it was right at the holidays.
Oh,
So
nice.
the next day, I remember getting home. It was probably about 5 in the morning, and and Gemma, of course, she didn't come to the casino, but so I creeped into the bedroom and I like she was just waking up like because she heard me, and I was like turned on the lights and like threw all this,
Ah,
made it rain. So the next day we were at the Apple store buying new iPhones with
nice.
cash. So yeah, that was a good Christmas. But yeah, that's what happens. You win once and you just always want to go back. But with my mom, that's her entertainment. That was her entertainment and her exercise, because
Yeah,
she could do a little bit of walking and then stop and play a machine, do a little bit of walking, stop and play a machine. That was her form of getting a couple of steps in. Whereas
right.
on the house, she's not getting it. Like she said, I feel like I'm sleeping this whole year away. It's all I want
Wow.
to do is nap, and I feel really bad. Like I yell at her, and I have arguments with her about like not going here and going there, and no, don't you dare have people over for the holidays and all that. And she said, I don't have that many years left, and I feel like I'm losing this whole one.
Yeah.
You
My
know,
mom feels the same way. My mom is 87 and
yeah,
she's like,
yeah. My
you
mom's
know,
like 74, so yeah, I get it, and I do feel bad. I do understand it. Just taking away like one thing, like going to the movies, that just felt weird. Like all of a sudden, not that we
right,
went all the time, but the fact that you
right.
couldn't. Like that's what we were talking about, is the little freedoms that you took for granted, that all of
Mhm.
a sudden, like we didn't go to the movies all that much, maybe like once every 3 months. But now you're like, we can't, I really wanted to go to the movie. So yeah, we all have to kind of learn to adjust to the new normal.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just say like you can get through anything with whiskey.
Yes, and whiskey and rock and roll. You can get
Exactly. Whiskey and
whiskey
rock
and
and roll.
music. Really,
Exactly.
music
Whiskey,
is,
not rock and roll, and Netflix.
yes, right. That in that order.
Because we have watched the shit out of Netflix. We just finished the new Shonda Rhimes one, Bridgerton.
Which one was that? Oh,
Bridgerton.
do you have a different Netflix than we do, or is it Netflix just Netflix? Is
It's
that the
it's
same?
a little different. It's a little different, but when big things come out, we usually get them too. Like if it's a Shonda Rhimes thing, so of course it's gonna be all over. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of like Gossip Girl in the 1800s.
Ah,
Yeah, like it's kind of got like a modern theme, but it takes place in the 1800s. So but there's a couple familiar faces for us. One of the girls from Dairy Girls, which was a popular show over here about some Irish teenage girls. One of the girls from that is in this, and she's so cute because she's super chubby. And she's super good, like, so to see her in something other than Dairy Girls was like, oh my god, look who it is. And we've been watching the crap out of the Great British Bake Offs, because over the holidays they do like the best of, um like two parts of the best of, then they do like they bring back some past winners to do a Christmas bake off, and then they'll have a New Year's one. And so even though the season is over, they have all these extras over the holidays that we've been watching.
I've been catching some bad movies on Netflix, thinking they were going to be good for the
Oh
big trailer, and then you're in it, and it's like, how did anyone put money up for this movie? Because it cost a ton of money to even make a bad movie. It's like it's
yes,
predictable and just like so.
you need to watch The Happiest Season.
Okay,
um
so that's the name
I
of.
think you might be able to get that now. It started off on Hulu, but I'm pretty sure it's everywhere now, like maybe on Amazon. Um,
Okay, I
and
have that.
but that was really good. That was with Kristen Stewart and Aubrey Plaza, and Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek is in it. Mary Steenburgen, Victor Gerber, a really great cast. But
I'll have to take.
finally, a lesbian Christmas movie.
Finally. Well,
Finally, right.
speaking of Christmas movies, I've been lost in the Hallmarks where everyone wakes up with their makeup
Yeah,
perfect
yes.
and they always have a happy ending.
I
You
always
know,
say to Gemma, do you think she's going to go back to the big city after living in this small town and experiencing Christmas for the first time with the man of her dreams?
pretty much every movie.
Every
They're
movie, every movie.
not ready for anyone in their life and they really just want to get back to their big job they're waiting to get, or they get the job and then once they're in the small town with Christmas and they meet the great guy, they don't care about their Manhattan apartment and their great job.
Exactly,
It's the way
exactly. They're
they're
so
perfect.
believable. They're so realistic. I love them. I do every once in a while throw one on in the background just for noise and be like, what the hell am I watching? Yeah. But it was really surprising to see like a gay Christmas movie. And
Yeah.
God, I hate to say this out loud because I feel like Dolly Parton is like the patron saint of everything right now.
Yeah,
But we could not get through Christmas on the Square,
really.
really,
Wow.
with Christine Baranski. I feel like a bad gay. I feel like a really bad gay.
I think you and I need to write the gay Christmas movie for next year for Hallmark.
Yeah,
Uh, they're saying they're going to do it, but they're getting threatened by some of their viewers.
they're advertisers, isn't it? 1 million moms and their advertisers.
Yeah, but they've touched upon it this year, so they're getting everybody ready for next year. So
Yeah,
we need to get together and write that. You and I, with you're the writer.
yeah.
I
We'll pitch it. We'll pitch it.
I have ideas, so we can like collaborate on this.
Okay, we can do the music.
Yeah, and they'll still wake up with full makeup. The girls that
Yeah,
wear
we'll
makeup.
stay with their theme.
Yeah, stick with the theme. Only she's going to go after the great girl instead of the
Right.
great guy.
That's it. The girl that lives in the small town. Yeah,
Right. That's
right.
great.
Yeah.
They grew up together. They could just be friends because she thought they were just friends. They move away. I don't know. We'll come up with something.
I think we could do this. I'm gonna put my efforts. I'm gonna put my efforts into that this year.
Yeah.
I have to find a new project soon enough.
Got to start now to get it made by next year. So.
Yeah, yeah, honestly. But I have to say, like, doing this podcast has really been like a highlight of this year. Like, I didn't really have a focus. I didn't really have anything going on, and it was starting to become obvious. So this has been fun, and we got really good people. Like you said, we got Tyler coming up. We've got a great right before Valentine's show.
Jen Seneca.
Jen
Jen
Seneca. What is the name of her blog?
Les Eats Local.
That's
Ellie's Eats Local.com.
Local, and
It's
she
a
goes to
website.
different restaurants and kind of does a little review.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to find out a little bit more. She's going to send me a bio so I can find out. She also produces plays. I went to see one of her plays that they did called Coming Out or I'm Coming. That was the name of it. And it was it was 4 decades, stories of women through 4 decades, starting in, I think it was the 50s. And their coming out stories, they were like vignettes of their
Oh,
story.
very cool. Yeah.
And it's a really cool thing to see. And that's how I met her. But I've known her sister because her sister plays music in some of the open mic nights and writer nights. So
Oh,
I saw
cool.
her sister, and then I went to see. Then they came to see me at Arts Garage when I played. So
No,
Jen
that's a
and
nice
I,
little relationship there. Okay.
yeah. So we'll have Jen on, and we have some other people lined up for Feb. We have some other people for January lined up, right? I
Yes.
think we'll have to
Yeah,
write a list.
end of January, beginning of February, and end of February. We've got some good stuff happening. So that's fun. And when we don't have guests, I still think we got, as they say over here, we got good bands.
Yes, we blend, baby.
We got
Blend.
good bands, so we can banter.
As Denise says, we blend. But this too has been great for me too, doing this creatively. It was just a great, I think, blend for the two of us, meeting of the minds to do this. I'm glad you feel that way because
Yeah.
I feel too that this was really something I really needed in my life.
I like how it progresses. Like we started off a little rough, man. We started a little rough. We had
Right.
to get with the technology. We had to figure it all out. We had to come
Yeah.
up with logos. We had to start getting guests,
Right.
and like it's all like this is. I get it. Like I went through this for years and years and years and years.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and and God, don't get me wrong, it's really hard doing something weekly.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge commitment, a huge,
Yeah.
huge, huge commitment. Um, and I feel like we're doing really good with it. Like our consistency is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
that's
we've
great.
got
And
the website coming up,
we
which
got it. Yeah, we're gonna have the website coming up. So
yeah.
that's gonna be a great place where everything is. Tyler's recipes,
Yes.
Our shows, Tyler's recipes,
Right.
bios on guests, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And we'll always have a podcast. Like sometimes we get a little lax with videos, but
Right.
we'll always at least have a podcast, and then it'll be like one-stop shopping where you could find everything.
Right.
So
Like
that'd be fantastic. Yeah.
I want to do a page where the guests we have booked, will list that for upcoming people and click on it and read about them. And then past people, and then Tyler's recipes, and then our merch. We'll
Yeah.
have some merch soon.
Yeah.
So coming up in 2021.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Look at us. Look at us
Yeah.
like grown-ups.
I think we need the Whiskey Rock Lounge mask with
Yeah.
a little straw opening.
Just a quick zip. Just a quick
Yeah.
zip for a straw. Exactly. Yeah.
The Whiskey
I think we
Rock
should
Lounge.
have like a little like Sam Elliott mustache too. Or lipstick. Just a lipstick
Right.
smear. Yeah.
I
Excellent.
like it here. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Perfect. Look at us. We are so grown up. I can't stand it. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go. Have a fabulous evening.
Thank you. You
And
too.
I knocked that out so bad. I'm down to ice.
I have a little, my rocks melt.
Excellent. All right. Cheers, my friend. I will talk to you next week. Happy New Year to you and your family.